The story of Noah's Ark. Long ago, the earth had become filled with violence, wickedness, and corruption. Humanity had turned away from God, doing evil in thought and deed. Scripture records that the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Genesis 6:5. Because of this deep corruption, God declared that he would bring judgment upon the world through a great flood that would destroy all flesh. Yet in the midst of this evil generation, one man stood out, Noah. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Genesis 6:8. Noah was described as a righteous man, blameless in his generation, and he walked faithfully with God. Genesis 6:9. Because of Noah's faith and obedience, God chose him to be the instrument of salvation not only for his family, but also for the living creatures of the earth. God's command to build the ark. God revealed his plan to Noah. A catastrophic flood would cover the entire earth, destroying all life. But Noah was to build an enormous vessel for survival, the ark. The Lord gave detailed instructions. The ark was to be made out of gopher wood and covered inside and out with pitch. Its length was to be 300 cubits, about 450 feet. Its width 50 cubits, 75 feet. And its height 30 cubits, 45 feet. It was to have 3 decks, a door on the side, and a roof with an opening for light and air. Genesis 6:14-16. God then gave Noah a sacred charge. You shall bring 2 of every sort of living thing into the ark to keep them alive with you, male and female. Genesis 6:19. From the clean animals, Noah was to bring 7 pairs. From the unclean, 1 pair. Genesis 7:2-3. Food was also to be stored for both humans and animals. The Bible records Noah's faithful obedience. Noah did this, he did all that God commanded him. Genesis 6:22. The coming of the flood. When the time came, God told Noah to enter the ark with his wife, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. Animals of every kind came into the ark, and then Scripture notes, and the Lord shut him in. Genesis 7:16. On the 17th day of the 2nd month of Noah's 600th year, the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of heaven were opened. Rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights. Waters rose higher and higher until they covered the highest mountains by more than 15 cubits. All living creatures outside the ark perished. Only Noah was left and those who were with him in the ark. Genesis 7:23. The waters prevailed on the earth for 150 days. God remembers Noah. Then, in his mercy, God remembered Noah. Genesis 8:1. A great wind passed over the earth, and the waters began to recede. The ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. After waiting, Noah released a raven, which flew back and forth until the waters dried. He also released a dove, which, finding no resting place, returned to him. A week later, he sent the dove again, and it returned with an olive leaf, showing that the earth was renewing. Finally, the dove went out once more and did not return, signifying that dry land had emerged. A new beginning. God then said to Noah, "Go out from the ark, you and your wife and your sons' wives with you." Genesis 8:16. All the animals departed as well, to fill the earth once more. Noah built an altar and offered sacrifices of thanksgiving from the clean animals and birds. The Lord received these offerings with pleasure and promised never again to curse the ground because of man, even though the human heart was still inclined toward sin. Genesis 8:21. The covenant of the rainbow. In Genesis 9, God established his covenant with Noah and his descendants, promising never again to destroy all life with a flood. As a sign of this everlasting covenant, the Lord set the rainbow in the sky. I have set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Genesis 9:13. Thus the rainbow became a reminder of God's mercy, patience, and enduring faithfulness. Meaning of the story. The story of Noah's Ark is more than just a tale of survival. It serves as a reminder of God's holiness and judgment against sin, but also of his grace toward those who walk with him. Noah's obedience in building the ark, despite ridicule and difficulty, became the means by which life was preserved and creation renewed. The flood teaches that sin grieves God's heart, but his covenant promises reveal that he desires mercy, restoration, and life.